Mouse1 here. Welcome to a brand new series in which I will be making a miniature version of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from the Harry Potter franchise. This is sort of a replacement series for my Building Firehouse 51 series, which I finished quite recently, but I wanted to make Hogwarts because I feel like I could do a lot more with it, and this is going to be way more detailed than my Firehouse piece, and I hope you really enjoy it. I start off by cutting out these little archways out of cereal box cardboard. Cereal box cardboard is ideal for this because it's thin and flexible, but it also has the firmness that I need and it's not too fragile, and it's almost perfect as a material for this sort of build. The windows I used just clear plastic packaging from whatever I happened to buy recently that was in clear plastic. And then after adding in these thin slats of thin strips of cardboard, I then just cut away the excess and continue adding detail with more strips of cardboard. I put on a nice long strip at the top and then a series of larger arches to frame the smaller windows. I end off the base of this with a rectangle and then make two more like it to create a nice three sides of a rectangle. This will be a courtyard that is in front of the Great Hall. I create a U shape with them, and then I insert a rectangular base that these will go around, and I hem everything in with strips of paper folded in two to create a form of hinge both on the inside and the outside of this rectangle. It just makes sure that everything stays nice and firm. I give everything a quick paint job because once I add the interior walls, a lot of these areas will be hard to reach, and also this paint's transparent, so the quicker I can start getting coats on, the quicker I'll be able to get something which looks decent. The colour is very close to the original cardboard though, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. I then draw lines half a centimetre in on each side of this cardboard piece, so that way I can create a nice even frame that will form the walkway around the edge of the courtyard. Some things I should probably say now while I'm doing this about the series in general. One, Hogwarts changes a lot across the course of the films. It's not going to be exactly like any of them, I can tell you that much. I'm going to do what I think looks right, and you can't really criticise me because, let's be honest, Hagrid's hut jumps across the grounds and bridges appear from nowhere. It's really hard to be consistent, and obviously it's not one enclosed set. They had random bits of sets here and there. They went to on location places for some parts of the castle. It's not meant to fit together, and I don't think I can make it fit together with all the areas I need. So I am going to be taking some creative liberty with a lot of it, and I'm also eyeballing the measurements quite heavily. As you can see, I'm not entirely sure how anything would be in proportion to each other, but I'm just doing what I think looks right, and hopefully that will come together to make something decent. Please don't criticise me for doing something 2 millimeters away from where it should be. Also, I am a huge fan of Harry Potter. I've read all the books more times than any sane person ever should. So if there are any topics or talking points that you want me to cover or talk about during this series, just as voiceover for whatever's happening on the screen at any given time, I would be happy to talk about it. Maybe if you have some theories you want me to discuss, or if you want me to discuss maybe the new Fantastic Beasts films that have come out, or anything like that, then just tell me and I will do that. As you can see, I'm building up the interior of the courtyard now. I've laid in a nice brick texture at the bottom, and I am now creating the interior walls, made in fairly similar way to the exterior ones, except without the windows and much thinner. There's also some which enter straight into the courtyard like doors, whereas some are fenced off at the bottom. I firm everything in with scraps of paper as such and get everything where I need it to be. I cut away the entrance where there is a part of the main building which juts out into it, and I then firm everything in with scraps of paper. As you can see, just gluing everything in place. I use PVA glue, like school glue. All of this is like really basic materials. You probably have the materials to do this lying around your house. Which is why I love projects like this. You don't need fancy materials or expensive items to do this. it's like I'm using PVA glue and poster paint to create this. I build up the roof of the walkways with these like trapeziums, and I then start cutting out tiny little squares, because at some point I had the genius idea of doing every roof tile as an individual piece of cardboard as such. I start off by going from top to bottom before realising that's a really stupid way of doing it and moving them the other way around. But for a while you can watch me putting all these tiles in the wrong place. But I quickly figure it out. This is a very long process, but it's actually quite enjoyable. It's kind of relaxing, like switch your mind off. Just busy work almost, just sticking something on the screen or listening to music or something and just putting on the tiles was actually quite a relaxing and like just nice experience to kill some time. It was a bit boring by the end of it, but it certainly wasn't as laborious as a task like this may sound on paper. Let's see how I feel on some of the bigger roofs, because this one is incredibly small. Yeah, I might regret this decision down the line, but you know, may as well commit to the detail early on so I don't have an excuse to get sloppy later. I then start painting it with this blue-grey colour. It is blue poster paint mixed with grey poster paint, and the paints are so transparent and low quality, especially the grey. It dries a lot more transparent. I do the base of like the concrete cobbles in straight grey paint, and now I move on to the part of the building that I work on this time, by starting off by creating these arches. This is very much the same process that I used on the walls, creating archways and sandwiching in a piece of clear plastic between the two. It just is the easiest way I can find to make arched windows, is to do it like this, because cutting an arch shape into the center of a piece is very, very difficult. On these ones I go all the way and add in little side, like horizontal slats, as well as the lines down the center of the pane. And then I create the walls that this is sandwiched between. I build it up slightly with extra pieces of cardboard inside just to keep the base piece straight, and then I attach these, again using small scraps of paper, to either side of the entrance of the courtyard. I then cut out another rectangle that will be the back plate of this tower thing. I cut out an arch that will serve as the doorway, and then I stick that into place as so. I then create the front, which is this thing with a curved base and a pointed roof, which I then stick into place, and I also have a curved piece of paper in there to make it look like there's a curved roof. You won't be able to see this very easily in the final piece, but if you are trying, you will be able to see it. So I do want to make sure that that is polished and you can't see up there when you wouldn't be able to in the real structure. I then add on the base of the roof, and then I start creating some small towers that come off the top by creating these little tubes of card, and then creating little cones of card which will go on top, or pyramids of card using primary school style nets, but on a very, very, very small scale. I also create a cone in much the same way, put a circular piece of cardboard in the bottom and place that on top of a circular tower which is in the center. I then fill out the edges of the courtyard roof, which attach to the side of the building, and now I continue tiling this area, so the two edges of the courtyard roof as well as the roof of the tower itself. I just continue the same technique of putting tiny rectangles of cut out cereal box card, and now I give everything that I haven't painted yet its paint job. I just go over everything, painting the ceiling roof blue. I had to mix up a new blue paint, so I have to go over everything in case the colour is slightly off. And then I go over the top roof as well. I paint the tops of the towers in the same colour. Now I'm going to cut out a tiny circle of card, and this will be a clock which will be in the foyer or entranceway of the tower. I make it 3 o'clock for no particular reason other than I think that's a time that looks nice on a clock face. So I paint that with a white background and black hands as such. I then give the roof a black wash to start bringing out some of the detail where the paint jobber made it look washed out. I do the same on the base, which really allows you to see the cracks in the bricks. I add in the clock face while the wash is drying as such, and then I give all the roof tiles, a nice light dry brush, and as you can see, that is all I got done for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did, and apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!